Hey everyone, we are taking a look at another Spider-Man Lizard Wave figure today. We have got the Prowler up for review. He comes in your standard Marvel Legends box. You guys know the drill here. We've got big window, artwork on the side, pretty good artwork I think. And then we've got product shots and that lineup down there on the bottom. So let's pull them out and take a closer look. Alright guys, so here is our Prowler figure out of the box, and this is a character that I don't really care about too much, so I don't have any attachment to him. I know who he is, I know where he comes from. He's been around for a while, but it's not a character that I ever really cared about. I really only got him because I needed that Build-A-Figure piece. So let's take a look at all the normal stuff. We'll do articulation, paint, sculpt. He has no accessories, so we're not going to do that. I am going to take the cape off to do articulation because it gets in the way, and then we'll kind of go over the whole figure in general. Okay, here he is, sans cape. Let's do articulation real quick and then we'll bring that cape back in. Head can rotate, he can look down, he can look up. Arms can go out. I've got really tight joints at the shoulder. Swivel, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, hinged and rotating wrists. We've got a crunch, waist twist. Legs can only go out so far. It's actually pretty minimal. They kick forward really high though. So, nice long dancer's kick there. We've got a little bit on the backswing. We've got a thigh cut, double jointed knees, shin swivel. We've got rotating and hinged ankles. So it's all the standard Marvel Legends articulation. I kind of wish he was one of the bodies, one of the bigger bodies that had the butterfly joint in the chest. I feel like he would make use of that well because he's supposed to be a little more agile than most. He's kind of a climber, so it makes sense that he would have something like that. But this isn't too bad, and it fits his relatively fit physique with that body style. Now, I like the way he looks. I think his overall design is nice. I like the green and purple color scheme. That's really where my interest starts and stops. I like his outfit. What I don't like are these things and these things down here, these little canisters. So they're kind of like fluid canisters that he puts on his boots and on his wrists. And we've seen things like this with other characters recently, like the Cyclops, the 90s Jim Lee era Cyclops, for example, with his bands on the thighs that don't want to stay where they are supposed to. These are sculpted in such a way that they sit on the boot in a certain manner, but they're not secure. So while I can fix that, and I'm going to, a little drop of glue, I hate the fact that I have to do that. It just bugs me. These are also not secured, but they're not so bad because they don't really have anywhere to go. But when I took him out of the box initially, he was like this. That's not fun. No one wants that. And it's just an annoyance, and I hate those little kind of minor annoyances. Again, it is a minor annoyance, but it's stuff like that that rubs me the wrong way. His overall look, I like it. I think it's fine. I like his clawed fingers, and I like the metallic paint that they've used on these canisters and on those hands. His head is pretty nice too. The design on his mask is actually sculpted on there. Nice paint applications on the black and the white. And then that green symbol, whatever that's supposed to be on his chest, is applied pretty well. And there's not really anything on the back. He does have a belt that is a piece of purple plastic. It's free floating, but it doesn't really do anything. It does help to cover that seam at the waist though. So in general, like I said, I like the way he looks, but these things bug me. And beyond this, that's pretty much it, except for the cape. So we'll put this guy back on him, and it does peg into his back. So he's got that hole, standard Marvel Legends, and it pegs in. I do not like this cape at all. I have a big problem with capes that hit the ground when they're hard plastic, and this is flexible, but it's still very much rigid, and it hits the ground pretty much in any position you put it in. And it's also got this really weird neckline about it. It's hard for me to position it in such a way that it doesn't look really goofy. If you get him kind of hunched down, crouching, you'll get it to the point where it might start to pop up. See, it's already doing it, where it's wanting to pull out of that peg on the back, and it's sitting just funny. That's the only way I can describe it. It just sits funny on him. I don't particularly care for it. I wish that the cape had been slightly smaller. I'm assuming this is a cape, again, that belongs to someone else in the Marvel Legends universe, but I don't know. I just think it doesn't really fit him correctly. I feel like this piece should be smaller. It should wrap around his neck a little bit tighter. And honestly, I kind of prefer him without it. But it's crucial to his character. That's one of the things he has. He has the cape, so they got to include it. But I do think the execution here is lacking. It looks fine as a billowing cape, but its execution and its utilization is pretty rough, and I'm just having a hard time making him stand in a nice dynamic pose without that thing wanting to pop right out of his back. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty ambivalent towards this figure. I don't care about the Prowler as a character at all, so that doesn't really help my disposition towards this figure. I think the canisters are cumbersome and annoying, but they can be fixed, so it's not a huge deal. I just hate the fact that I have to do that. I don't like the cape at all, like I've mentioned. I think it sits weird. I think it's a little too big for him, and it's just hard to position without it hitting the ground, which is always a problem, and I don't like that. It's just something that bugs me. His design in general, I think he looks pretty cool. So if you like the character, then you might want to grab him. But if you don't like this character and you don't need the Build-A-Figure piece, he's probably an easy pass. So that is going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Prowler figure from Hasbro. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time, guys.